Yo, what's up, people? How's it going on? It's me, back once again. We're live for the LEC Rogue versus MDK. Yeah, a little unfortunate that I didn't do a prediction video because you would have heard my thoughts. I actually did record all the audio, but it got to like stupid o'clock at home and I couldn't like post it before the games went live, so I felt it's easier just to do a Excel sheet. No webcam tonight either because I'm really tired. And I look like absolute baloney. I look like Paul Heyman on SmackDown if you want a good representation of how I look. Anyway, I'm gonna quickly just see audio levels are okay on the stream. Hopefully they are. That's not what I wanted to hear. There we go. Stick my headphone in one ear. That was my YouTube shorts just randomly watching through, as you do during the day. That sounds actually pretty nice. So, let's get going today. Thankfully, we've got a best of one. Obviously, the funny thing is, we could literally have done a best of 3 between these two teams this weekend, considering they faced off twice. And yeah, it was a pretty interesting matchup. I haven't actually watched it yet, so this will be the fun thing for me. So away we go. It appears MDK have blue side, Rogue have red. I'm gonna just turn my pen on and let's just rattle through draft, because these two teams, obviously the lower portion of the table, MDK was sitting right at the bottom, 1-7 versus the 2-6. Bans already come through, Larson being targeted out, comp safety gone, Rumble and Skarner gone on Rogue side. Available big picks, I think, that probably Rogue will go towards. You have to think, probably is Corky. I think that needs to be removed or considered as a first pick for MDK. I believe that's just something that Larson would probably pivot to. But Talia actually comes through. I mean, else is there? Because realistically speaking, Rogue's kind of comp style is a bit all over the place, late game scaling, so things like Ornn, tankier top pick, maybe a bruiser like Renek to stack up alongside the Sejuani, because granted Sej can be flexed. More than likely going with Marcoon into jungle, Kaiser coming through for comp, and Zeri not Rel, something aggressive into that Kaiser, because she is quite immobile early on. I'm liking everything coming through from MDK. Corky makes so much sense in Larson's wheelhouse of available picks. It's just the most Larson-esque pick, considering Azir was obviously banned away. So ban phase 2, I expect for MDK to ban Renek. What else is there up and available? Support Renata, Rakan. I think Renata would be the best for MDK to ban out, just because the ability for Peel, because let's be honest, Rel Zeri quite short range in terms of ADC support combo. Alistar, good ban overall. Rogue's bans, I mean, it's very hard, I would say, for them to ban. Talia's a flex between mid and jungle. Zeri can play bot. So you're banning out either mid laners or you're banning out junglers. So you've gone into this split pick section of bans. So you're probably going to go on 4 top. But I'd much rather see support come through here, considering Rel actually makes this flex even more insane, actually. Because that could be flex jungle. Oh, it's so hard. So, I'm going to be honest. Nothing really revealed by MDK. Double bans into supports. Naught comes through, that's fine. I'd say lacking peel more than anything for those carries. So, Naught and Sedge will go in, but there's no protection for the Kaiser or the Corki. So, Rel can crash in, Weaver's Wall behind. It's very easy then for the peel. Oh, that's a really good pick. If that gets locked in, I'm going to be really happy. We've already discussed Poppy strengths, but if the Renekton comes through, that actually denies some synergy away from Rogue. The Sejuani pick doesn't have that strong stacking top lane option to get the procs, and you're kind of now thinking about it. That's a bruisery top gone. So unless you want to play like Camille into this Renekton, Jax is an option that would work well with the Sedge, but we haven't really seen too much of it this year. And that Viego gets locked in. Okay, it does. So it's Talia mid. So the fact is, Rogue's banned, I'm not really too happy about more than anything in terms of how things are shaping up. Kled comes through for Finn. That's one of his go-to signatures of years past. So Comfort being drafted in. To be honest, I like it as a proccing pick alongside the Sejuani. However, as a whole, it does also fill that bruiser role. My concern is, however, Rogue's draft is very gung-ho, go in and hope for the best. Whereas Mad have this sort of urgency and peel that's going to be hard to deal with if you're Rogue. And I personally don't like what they've done, because Kaiser typically thrives on being AD with minimalistic AP to obviously get the enhanced W. As a whole, you kind of need to go for this AP Kaiser build if you're Rogue to have a damage output that is AP. Because Corki obviously got reworked and changed, so he's full AD, no package anymore, and is just pure attack damage to bring him back into the bot lane, which hasn't clearly worked. Let's be honest, still a mid laner. But yeah, draft-wise, there's a lot going on with this that needs to be assessed, and Rogue probably are going to lose this one. I just think that Zeri's probably going to have an easy time free firing because of the protection she's going to have from this from her Renekton and Rel combination. Anyway, flash trade early on. Zolis gets the flash out from the mid laner, which is actually a good start, I would say. Scowy going to be playing on the back foot. Got to play safe against this Corki, as the threat of a dive from Marcoon can come through at probably level 3, to be honest. And I'm going to be thinking and watching to see if any paths come towards the mid lane as this game goes on, because you've just burnt a flash, you need to capitalize on it. And we'll check in when the flash comes back up to see whether or not Rogue have capitalized on the play. Now, as a whole, MDK get a ward down. No sweeper on Rogue's side of things, so they're not going to get the early XP advantage. Whereas there is a sweeper on MDK side. I'm just looking. Rel went straight to lane, so yeah, nothing really out of that going in advantage of either team. Top side, we kind of get to talk about the Renekton and Kled matchup and how it essentially works out. Simply put, Kled will always have trade advantage until he doesn't. The simple way to word it is the sustain factor of the matchup always favors the Renekton. The only time it favors the Kled is when he has Skarl. Now, Skarl obviously quite easy to charge up. You need to kill minions, attack the enemy, and just you gain him back the more you kind of do. Kill minions, kill the enemy, kill towers, and you get him back. He's a great tool for tower dives because you can reset aggro. It's a really strong champion that can just make it hard for the opposition to do much. Now, this is the thing we've been kind of wanting, is to try and punish for Scowie's flash being down. Bot side though, Zoli's trading into Alvaro mid. Marcoon's hovering, gonna try and make a play now. Corki just gonna bully him out of lane. This is actually a worthwhile trade, all things considered. What essentially has happened here is Larson gets a little bit of push, however, because of the roam from Alvaro, due to the fact that Zolis got trapped in lane, it meant that Larson forced to burn his flash in a 1-for-1 trade with the support flash just a little bit later. And the delayed burn of flash actually going to be quite useful for MDK because it probably won't be up in time for A, first up Drake, and maybe just back up in time for the Void Grubs. So they're on a bit more of an advantageous timer here, considering the fact that Frascari's flash will be up soon, and as a whole he'll be able to kind of make a bit more contest towards this first set of grubs. Now, bot side of the map, let's talk about items. My favourite item in the whole wide world has been picked up here by Super, the Cult. So, realistically speaking, this is a really good item against Rogue. And I think teams will probably, well, I'm surprised this is the first series I'm actually seeing where this has happened as boss. Like, he's dead. Zolis is dead. Yeah. Marcoon's overstepped by showing up. Probably will die under tower if he didn't flash. And this is something that I've seen quite a lot in Rogue games. Zolis getting punished for his positioning. He's been quite bad in terms of where he's stayed or positioned on the map. And it's kind of cost advantageous states Rogue had because of it. Now, going back to what I was saying about the bot side, the thing about Rogue is they stall out games. So a Cull to accelerate a game is a huge item because obviously you're getting the extra gold per killing minions, per obviously 100 minions getting the extra cash out. Due to the fact that Rogue typically won't fight until 3rd Drake, 4th Drake, Baron, you're kind of just going to be outscaling them because you have obviously the extra gold coming into your back pocket. Now don't get me wrong, you've just picked up First Blood onto Super. It's typically a issue, all things considered, and this is actually quite interesting. Watching Alvaro's map movement, we don't typically discuss the movement of supports, but just the fact he's checking, firstly, blue buff and the area to see if A, anyone's down here, like jungle-wise, and B, he's also providing safety for his ADC Super to step up to then go for the push. Now, as that's happening, Elio is pathing over here, get some vision down, so that he can essentially keep track of where Marcoon goes. Does he match him and go take Scuttle? Or trying to invade on the bottom side? Or, as a whole, it just means that he's able to make sure he can see if any mid plays are in the works or brewing for Rogue. So as a whole, I like what the warding setup for MDK is, because they had a ward here, but it's gone now. They had this ward here on the minimap, making it so that Frescowi can play a bit more aggressive, push out the wave to allow for the roam up here if needed to contest Void Grubs, to allow Elyoya to secure them for his team. So basically, Elyoya just secured Void Grubs by securing a safe lane for Frescowi to get a reset and then possibly TP up if need be. Now we see topside Kled and Renekton getting the big ulti out of this Renekton. Kled's ult isn't on cooldown, I don't think. It's hard to tell. But yeah, trading aggressive, getting the pullbacks. Conqueror going to provide a little bit more sustain for Finn, and realistically speaking, Skarl just going to be that nuisance that's needed. Now, Sedge ult's going to go wide, and that means that double permafrost stacking ability that Sedge has now no longer going to be a possible play. And I saw a really interesting clip earlier on X, formerly known as Twitter, by Yankos, explaining the double proc and how to effectively utilize Sedge's mechanics. And the fact that Merwin flashed that kind of knows that or signifies that he's was expecting that combo to come out from Rogue's jungler, which probably would have resulted in a kill over to Finn, because bear in mind, while Finn obviously is mounted up, I believe, right now, the ability to drop aggro and become untargetable for 0.5 of a second, something like that, just means that as a whole, Merwin probably would not have gotten a kill back. Viego probably would have definitely secured it, but it still results in nothing in terms of the outcome of it. Because no one fell, the only thing that was gained was a flash. And even then, Rogue haven't been able to punish flashes, as Frescowi didn't really get punished for losing his flash. The only kill that's gone through is over to Super. And the gold lead that actually Larsen's picked up is minimal. 200 gold. That's it. And Frescowi just able to match the farm, not really been put too far behind. So yeah, I'm gonna say it. Mad are pretty content with how this game's going. I would say you've got better scaling out your carry, well, your mid laner. I'd say Talia scales quite a lot harder. You've got First Drake coming over to you. Full objective control, to be honest, and that's early game Viego power plus bot lane strength right now. And I'm saying early game Viego power because of the fact that Elyoya sets up vision for his team. It just makes it so hard for Rogue to step up into areas of contest. Now I'm hoping Rogue in 30 seconds can test this second set of Void Grubs, with Marcoon taking Scuttle. The possible tower dive could be a potential play here, but the slow push away is going to actually crash now. Not enough minions to go for a dive. So Rogue as a whole not going to get anything, I would say, as Ayo's pathing up. You got top and support and jungle for Rogue here. So as a whole, probably will go over to Rogue, these grubbies. However, Ayoya could literally just smite one away. Larsen's pathing over. But I'm gonna say it. Rogue looking for the pick. They're trying to get onto Rel as Avaro just crashes down as Viego engages onto the backline. The first killer fight goes over to MDK as Marcoon gets deleted. Reset over to Viego, gonna secure himself a second kill as Zoelise falls. MDK pick up 2 kills quick and easy onto Rogue. And it's a bit of a disaster, as that's going to be 6 grubbies over to the MDK squad. That siege potential through late game Renekton going to result in probably a lot more of an issue for Rogue, as he picks up a kill. And yeah, I'm really interested how that fight went so poorly for Rogue, because it looked like they were going on the front foot, but Alvaro pulled the trigger. So let's watch this. The Kled ult comes through and they're trying to get onto Alvaro. The crashdown hits onto 2. Zoelise isn't really doing too much. He gets a nice death charge, but even then, he's just left out to dry because the rest of his team backed away. I'm pretty sure if we watch the initial play, I want to see what happens to that dash. It looked interesting. So I'm going to go super slow-mo, because I hit the wrong button, but it looked pretty bad, to be honest. So 0.5 speed. Let's discuss this. So over the wall goes Marcoon. Can someone explain to me what just happened to Marcoon? What? Hit the wrong button again. I want to slow down. So Kled ult's coming through. We see that he's gonna almost certainly hit Alvaro. There's no escaping it. It's always gonna hit Alvaro. So comes through, it's coming through. Dash over the wall. It looked like such weird movement. I think the dash over the wall really screws Rogue. Crashdown hits 3. Alvaro just re-engages well. TP's coming through. Yeah. Rogue clump up into an easy target for Frescowie. Merwin TP's in. Collapse is so much quicker from MDK that they've got their mid laner in place to make the play. Larson out of position more than anything, can't really fire in. So MDK win the fight. Rogue just flounder it, to be honest. And it's a pretty big flounder because it gives over so much to MDK. And that, my friends, is how you don't teamfight. Don't target the Rel, because Rel is very good at turning plays around. And MDK come out on top of that one. So, back to live. Vision just getting pushed forward here by Alyoya. He's the king of sitting in enemy jungles, and that may be a dead Alvaro if that hook landed. However, it does not, and he gets to just walk back to where he was. Just camping on Vision, setting up so much in Rogue's jungle. Just the fact you've got these guys here, this brush here. So much of this jungle belongs to Rogue. Larson can't step forward, knowing full well that MDK are behind him. Big cleanse burnt there. Comp without that safety summoner. Frescowie gets a really nice seismic shove. And this is just poor Rogue gameplay. Bullied out their own jungle, and early game has just not gone in their advantage in any way. Hook gonna go wide. Zoelise hasn't really been able to hit one this game of importance, I would say. Now, MDK stand on the front foot. Losing so much in terms of tower damage here, Rogue. Just look at the plating. 2-1. It's minimal, but the plates went over to super. That's probably where we need to highlight where the plates went to. Rogues probably went over to thin, and that's about it. Don't really think much was picked up. Now, as a whole, MDK just pushing an advantage, and you kind of look at the jungle as the observers are putting on our screen. Marcoon and Alyoya, kind of the where issues lie for Rogue. Alyoya is pushing his tempo, pushing vision, controlling the objectives, making it hard for Rogue to step up, and that's allowing the lanes to win. Marcoon can't really match this Viego's speed and clear and impact in the fight so far. And Rogue are just falling to pieces because they're kind of having to try and step up. Because right now, Marcoon kind of getting caught, even though it's actually going to be the Rel falling. I don't like the Sejuani taking the kill. I much rather have liked Comp to get that, because he is quite a bit behind super. However, it will probably result in Herald going over. Was that Cledel cancelled? Never mind, they're going in. They look to have got a pick here, as Merlin's going to fall. That's actually huge. It's annoying that the wrong people are picking up these kills for Rogue, as Zolis secures it. Used his Ignite. I mean, I understand why, because you're scared of the Renekton Q, but like, didn't need to happen. Anyway, Alvaro thinks he's got his team joining up with him. Turns out they're not playing, and Marcoon gets to secure the kill. Harold gets started up by Rogue, and it's just Merwin getting hit by a good hook. It's annoying. Kill really should have gone over to Comp, but no. Rogue's frontline just stealing away these kills. And you just need to look at MDK side of things. Who has the kills for them? It's their carries. Viego, Renekton, and the Zeri. The only one without a kill is a Talia, but she's got 2 assists. You look at the fact that Comp has 2 assists when he realistically should have been the one to pick up at least one of them kills. Kind of tells the story of how this game's going for Rogue. MDK, everything's going right for them, whereas Rogue struggle. And it's turning into a bit of a difficult situation to play out. Now, while the gold right now is fairly even, I think we need to look at the next big thing that will be contested, and it's these Drakes. Rogue failing to get any this early game. The only objective they've been able to secure is a Grubbies. Isn't really the best, as going to execute a very good Kled tower dive. Going to secure themselves a tower. That's actually a well-worked play from Rogue. Just the fact that Kled can tank up tower aggro so goddamn easily. Go back to base on a reset. Get his tower dropping aggro ability once more. Oh my days. Finn's going to try and trade here against Frescowy. A good seismic shove's going to push back the Kled and allow Frescowy to escape on the Talia. That was TP invested by Rogue's top laner, almost getting for himself a big outplay. And I think it was a big outplay, to be honest. Because Frescowy actually invested TP as well for that play. Take a look at total gold. Larson and Super sitting atop the league, and it's actually surprising Rogue have 4 of their members sitting, or 3, in the top 3 gold members. Because this game really hasn't felt Rogue controlled at all, or dictated by them. it's been very much so MDK dictating the tempo, dictating which areas of the map are being contested. And Rogue just... they're a reactive team. But their reactions aren't necessarily the quickest in this situation. And they're being punished for them. I'm going to take a quick look-see at builds. And I already discussed how the build that the Kaiser really needs to go for is an AP one. And right now, obviously, seeing a lot of attack speed, bit of AP from the Rage Blade, but overly, there isn't much overall in terms of AP for her. And that's kind of scary, all things considered, as we look at the items going through for MDK. Never mind, we can't look at that. A stupid graphic has appeared over what I was about to talk about. Simply put, once we get it, I just want to look at boots, I want to look at the Rel build, and we can kind of discuss what's happening. Is the Weaver's Wall's going to be thrown out. We're not even going to get to look at that. There's a fight brewing, as Herald's going to be used by Rogue, going to drift it just to avoid the Weaver's Wall, and what the fuck was that? It somehow resulted in Merwin falling. What? What? Anyway, let's... oh, I'm not even going to get to talk about what I want to talk about. So, yes, it's a good move overall by Marcoon to take the Herald on a drift. The bad move is he knocks up the Talia, misses the tower, hits a stun. I get what he's trying to do is hit up Talia so that his team can go kill him. But yeah, bit of a yikes. Doesn't get the tower. Anyway, let's talk items. Trailblazer already picked up for the Rel with Warmogs. She's going to be fine and dandy through the rest of the game. 1, 2 pairs of steel toe caps. They're not really going to be feeling too much of that AD damage from Rogue, as they've just built up the resistances. Now with Drake on the table, Kled goes charging in. Rogue trying to contest, but that's a massive crash. I'm going to get a magnet pull of 3. But Marcoon's going to pick up the first kill of the fight as Zeri trades one back as Finn. He's got no more Skull to protect him. And now Rogue forced to whimper away. MDK going to secure for themselves this Drake. Not unless Marcoon has anything to do with it as the Weaver's Wall gets dropped down. Yeah, Rogue piecing out of there, realizing they can't step too much further forward. MDK, though, being chased out now. Rogue on the front foot. Marcoon trying to contest, but missing that massive Glacial Prism. Gonna result in MDK getting away to safety. Killer Instinct. Rogue, I think they're wasting a bit too much here. All things considered, investing some big ultis and getting absolutely nothing. As Alvaro, he sees a Kaiser. He's hunting. TPs are available for Frescowie and Merwin, but no. Not going to force a play. Instead, it's the mid lane. Larson getting a bit excited. This is Rogue playing on an edge. The dime just a little bit too interesting to play on. MDK putting pressure down on this top lane tier 1. Baron's up. Don't expect anyone to go for it because, let's be honest, in 3 minutes time, Soul's on the table. And MDK probably will want that more than anything. Mountain Soul, so much resistance to what Rogue have to offer. I'm gonna be honest, this game's looking pretty doomed if you're Rogue. Just MDK dictating tempos around objectives. You need to set up early. You need to control it. Force MDK at back. Make them engage. Not you. Because Laurel's playing so counteractive. Alvaro is just crashing down when Rogue stepped too far forward. And that's the issue for Rogue. You kind of need to set up first and play the counteractive play to the counteractive play. If they don't do that, then they're just getting beat. And MDK are being very, very good on their front foot. Now, 24 minutes on the clock. Third item's looking to be picked up here for these carries. As that's a hook gonna land. It's gonna be a lot of damage down as Alvaro gets popped. Killer Instinct forward's gonna force Zeri to flash away. MDK, they lose their support. There's no real engage tools on their front foot. Will Rogue turn to this Baron? Yes, they will. It started up here. MDK looking to contest. TP's coming in from both teams. Zeri stepping forward. The Baron's dropped below half its HP. Hook comes through. Merwin is caught. Rogue have got their pick. Not gonna execute it though. The Baron did not fully reset. It's being dropped. Rogue forcing Elyoya out the pit. Baron secured. But the mid lane tier 1. Gonna be the trade back. MDK, I think, quite happy with that trade. If you think about it. Sure, you give over a support life and Baron to Rogue. But you get the mid lane tier 1. It's quite hard for Rogue to push. Because they don't have the strongest of harassment other than the Kaiser W and the Corki poke. The trade's going to be minimal. In fact, it's probably going to be a fairly even trade if you think about it. Zeri can clear waves quite easily. She does have the Hurricane picked up. Rogue already lost one tower off the play. And they've not got one back just yet. The Baron power play, only about 1.5k gold gain for Rogue. And if you think about it, that's typically the average for a Baron in terms of its initial worth. But the trades coming through from MDK, they're already breaking an outer tower of their own. Gonna put Rogue down to only a plus 700. This Baron isn't doing too much. Elyoya's shadowing Merwin so that Finn can't really step up and push the wave. Rogue bringing members up here. As the Hulk's going to come through, that's a dead Renekton. Starks gates procs, but the poke and harass from Larsen's going to secure the kill. And there you go. So the goal back in Rogue's favour. TP going to come through. And this is good. Rogue setting up on time for the objective. Baron up for another minute. But Rogue just going to start this one up. Marcoon. No one's clearing out the vision, which is slightly worrying. Finally dropping a control ward in the pit. And hey, Soul gonna be denied. Good job, Rogue. The fight back is real. They've got for themselves a 3k gold lead. But MDK, what can they do? 'Cause clearly right now, Rogue just content. They've slowed the game down to a place that benefits them. Baron's on their side. Bot lane tier 2 going to be targeted. The cannon minion just out of range from the Frescowie poke. Going to land a few more rockets down onto it. But here comes just the harass from Corki. Rockets being thrown out. Scatter bombs coming through. And the phosphor bombs, I should say, is MDK bully Rogue out of their jungle. Baron recall's going to come through, and that's going to signal the end of this push. Baron comes off Rogue with a 1.4k Baron, I believe. So not the worst, not the best. MDK certainly content considering they really only lost one tower. And they gained 2. they're possibly going to get a third hit, because Rogue will reset. There's no one defending the bot lane tier 1. Simple as you like, to be honest. Rogue just not able to respond to the MDK plays. The split push threat of MDK causing issues for Rogue. And Rogue are kind of just overgrouping. Look how many members are actually shadowing Larson's push there. 4 members out of the 5. And it's a little bit weird, to say the least, because Finn does have TP, so he stays bot. But, like, Comp should have been mid. Just pushing. Marcoon should have been hovering jungle with Zoelise. That's about it. But Comp instead couldn't go mid. Instead, forced to play awkwardly. And now, these awkward resets from Rogue being punished. MDK just invade, take jungle vision, and control around this top side red buff area. Oh, you're getting caught as the engage comes through. The crash down's going to land, and that's going to be a pick off onto Zoelise. Killing spree over to this Zeri, and now MDK on the front foot. 4v3, a possibility as a Nautilus hook lands onto Finn. He goes on target ball, but it's not enough to avoid the wrath of the Zeri. A double kill over to Super. But there's no objective to play for. Instead, it's probably going to be a bit more of a secure push for MDK. Get the resets in. I know Baron's up in 30 seconds. Comp obviously playing sides. Gonna secure for himself a tier 2, but like, that's about it. So as a whole, a really well worked play here for MDK, getting 2 picks. The Nautilus resets for the Viego kind of spelt the demise of Finn. The hook lands, he's dead. Honestly, probably would have been better to have dashed over the wall, but neither here nor there. TB kind of wasted, and now there's no one on sides for Rogue to be honest, to respond to most of the plays, unless you stick Larson out there. But he's sitting mid, sitting with the rest of his team, and now there's a bit of a situation. Weaver's wall comes through, separating Rogue's carries from their front line. MDK push Rogue back. They get Comp's flash. That's huge. No safety tool apart from the cleanse on this Kaiser, and the engage comes through. They catch out Alvaro. Now what can MDK do? They've got no frontline engager to go for the picks. Instead, it's going to be the Corki stepping forward. The dash through. Rogue get the double kill as Zeri is shut down. MDK getting caught sleeping as Rogue's clapback is massive. And they're going straight towards this Dracon spawn. That soul point MDK sit on. It's juicy, but it's not juicy enough. And Rogue stopped the plays. They're turning straight towards the Baron. But where's Marcoon? He's hiding off to the side. Is backing. Denied his back. Denied the reset. Rogue gonna secure this Baron. It's quite slow overall. And the second Baron in the game goes over to Rogue here. And this is a weird situation where Rogue are actually gaining control. It's a good engage from Marcoon. We were saying, be the proactive engagers, Rogue. Force the play. And they do so by securing the pick onto Alvaro. Without that Rel as the possible engage for MDK, Rogue have free and easy time to hit onto the carries with their protected frontline. And as such, the pick onto Super just becomes really easy. And it's a well worked fight from Rogue that MDK a bit sloppy overall with their positioning. And this might be sloppy positioning as Alvaro. He's caught out the Kaiser. The Killer Instinct pulls her to safety. And the re-engage comes through from Rogue. They burst out the Rel, but it's not without casualty. Zoelise gets popped. And it's a 1-for-1 trade in the end that results in both supports down. But Rogue have the Baron. They get the resets quicker. However, Larson stays bot. Secure and push. Why not? MDK forced to come down there to respond to that wave. But no. We slow it down. And we get to kind of discuss this. The Baron for Rogue's kind of very stagnant. They're not pushing as effectively as you would like from them. They're not grouping as a team to force down these towers. Instead, it's MDK are the ones grouping. 2, 3 members up this top lane looking to catch off Finn as it's a 4-man dive. Claps coming through as Marcoon's joining up to protect this Kled, but it's not enough. Elioya secures the kill. And that's just greedy from Finn, to be honest. No team around him to protect from that play. Rogue get caught out and killed off. And this Baron, with 10 seconds on it, yet again, minimalistic in terms of the gains. Now, MDK, let's be honest, feeling the aggressors, feeling on the front foot, to be honest. Rogue just aren't gaining too much. The Killer Instinct forward, gonna get the dash out, that's also gonna pop the Steel Blade, or whatever it's called, of the Zeri. And this is the power of the Kaiser W. Everyone she hits, the reset comes through. Poke from range, the 3 void stacks of plasma just mean that she gets to put and damage away the health bars of the enemies. Now, Rogue gonna utilize the bit of harass they get to hit once onto the tier 2 top. But in the mid wave, kind of the other side prize, it's going to do a lot of chip damage to the tier 2. And we play yet again the objective rotation. Baron up in 2 minutes and basically 30 seconds. Whereas Drake's up in less than a minute. Soul point for Rogue, soul for MDK. Whoever gets it's really going to like it. And this is MDK realizing, okay, Rogue have kind of set up before us the past 2 times. We need to set up and be ready for if someone from Rogue oversteps. They've controlled so much vision, all the entrances to this river, and they're looking for picks as Alvaro stepping forward, clearing out vision, pushing the vision line forward for MDK. And this bottom side map is pure darkness for Rogue. They need to step forward if they want to get in, and that is the punish of a lifetime. Super kills off Zoelise, though it's a 1-for-1 trade as both supports fall, but that damage down onto Rogue is just ticking away. Zoeri does so much in securing the kills for her team as Elioya gets onto a rampage. Rogue burnt down, forced away from the Dragon Pit. And that's more than likely going to be soul over to MDK as Rogue kind of overstepped their welcome in the game. I was saying earlier that Rogue need to be the ones to make the plays, need to be the aggressors and force MDK to make mistakes. In the end, it's a mistake from Zoelise. Missing the hook is dire for a Nautilus, because that means that you've got A, no way to pull yourself to safety, and B, no way to pull an enemy into death. And so we watch it, we don't get to see the hook, but basically because he misses it, he gets hit by a seismic shove. He's stunned up to death. Whilst a 1-for-1 trade in terms of supports, Super's just free firing because no one's able to get onto him. The Weaver's Wall comes through, and that just denies the escape for Finn. And so 2 picks over to MDK after a kind of bad play from Rogue, causing the advantage to the Madlions squad. Mid lane, Nautilus landing the hook, but the Talia's just able to free fire in. None of Rogue are able to step too far forward as their backline is being dove by MDK. The Weaver's Wall going to come through here as Frescowi just going to deny an escape route for Marcoon. Baron's on the table. For the first time in this game, MDK are going to get themselves the Purple Worm buff. And Rogue, they're crumbling at the seams. Soul went over. That fight was so disjointed. MDK are just turning it around into dominant fashion. Rogue never looked in the lead in this one. Even when we saw they had the gold lead. The double Baron buff to the squad hasn't resulted in much. And instead, it's just MDK winning one fight into another around 2 important objectives, leading to objectives falling on Rogue's side of the map. So, where do we go now? 3 minutes is kind of what we're looking at till Elder. And it was kind of expected. If we talk about Rogue, it's a slow, long game. It's going to Baron. Or, sorry, to Elder. No matter what. And MDK, kind of in a similar boat this split. Slow games, unable to win, and unable to punish, as what we're seeing right now is actually pretty nice. Trying to crash the waves at the same time, just so Rogue kind of a force to deal with a hell of a lot of pressure in one go. Mid lane crashing in now. Bot lane crashing. The cannon just doing a lot of work for MDK bot side. Going to be denied as the Sedral's going to be used. So's the Nautilus ult. They're burning through Merwin's health bar, but that's the mid lane tier 3 falling. Rogue get a lot of damage down onto this Renekton, but guess what? He's got TP. Baron recall as well. He gets back to base. Tipped top health once more. So Rogue are going to have to force a play. Kled's already fallen off Skull. And MDK, they can look to push for the end here. TP'd back in comes the Renekton. The top lane tier 3. The next target for MDK. Rogue gonna lose an inhibitor mid and the top. All that remains is their bot lane tier 3. But now, MDK, they're just looking to end. The Nexus Tower is being chipped away at these Cannon and Baron minions, doing so much work in favor of the Madlions squad. The Nexus Tower in the top side map already incredibly low. And Zeri, Super, putting in the pressure to force the waves in. The Baron should be falling off very soon, but MDK want to secure this tier 3 bot. The hook comes through, but no real fighting. MDK are just backing away once the Nautilus hook comes through. Rogue aren't pulling the trigger, forcing the plays. Instead, they're losing their base. The Nexus Tower has already fallen, and now they're looking to fight as Zoalise gets deleted from the Rift. The follow-up hooks comes through from the Viego, and Kled and Larson actually already incredibly low. Now MBK secured a second Nexus Tower as Rogue just go in, crumbling to pieces. MDK delete them from the Rift in dominant fashion to end this one out. A triple kill to Alyoya's Viego, ending 7-0 and 8. That is a massive performance from the MDK jungler, resulting in them getting a tiebreaker against Rogue after this, obviously, and then Vitality if needs be. And with it, we get to round out this breakdown. It's a typical rogue game, all things considered. Slow, and nothing really gained from it. Objectives, minimal. They stopped Soul and got 2 Barons. The Barons didn't result in much. Very little in terms of structural damage. And failed to crack the base twice. Their comp really played scared from this rel. And they were punished for it. MDK played on the front foot when needed to, and the disjointed fights from Rogue were punished. Simple as you like from MDK to round out their last game, technically, of a regular split before tiebreakers, which we didn't even cover. Whoops. I was too busy watching England. Don't blame me. Regardless, thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed us, leave a like down below. Subscribe if you're new under if you want to. I'll see you guys for the first playoffs breakdown. You don't want to miss that. Peace out.